Yeah. Looky, we made it. Big checks, I like to flex. Got a brand new Mercedes. I Louis the chest, this ain't no guess. I'm dripping this wavy. You want the hook, you want the feature, you gotta pay me. We grind on the day.
We're now rocking with Soul and 60,
we made it.
the only timeshare podcast
Big
in the
checks,
world.
I
got my man Richie Rich to my right, to my left, down payment Dylan. Let's get it cracking.
What's poppin'? What's good? We got Scully in the building, man. It's a major day, baby.
What's up?
That was a classic intro, Scully. You the first to bless the audience. You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling it, man.
We appreciate you, kid.
It feels like magic.
Yes, sir. Now, I mean, a lot of people don't know you, but a lot of people do know you, right? So, I mean, like, you are a legend in your own right. Many people, you've helped many people, blessed many people. We appreciate you coming up on the show.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, I mean, we have viewers. We have to shout out Hawaii. We have to shout out Mexico. We have to shout out Tennessee. I mean, we've gone beyond
the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everyone in the timeshare game, whether you're in or thinking about getting in. And each time we try to bring you more value, more experiences, you know. And Scully, to have you on the show is a blessing.
Man, blessed to be here, man. I love that you say that.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
And, you know, shout out to Enrique, you know what I'm saying, for making the connection. Kike, my boy.
Yeah.
The one that called me down. You know, I always gotta give him his flowers. I always bring him a fresh bouquet of flowers. Was verbally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he put me on. So I mean, tell the viewers, man, your story. How did you get into this business? Like, let's take us back.
You know, that's a loaded question.
It's loaded.
Man.
I know.
It's loaded, man. You know, it's interesting because you know, I started in the music business for many years.
Wow.
And I traveled all over the world. I think somewhere in 60 plus countries, 70 plus countries. And I was blessed to be able to really learn culture, learn people, and learn, you know, what it was to fit in. You know, and one thing, you know, as I go into that with you guys a little bit more, but you know, that was something that really broadened my horizons, you know, was understanding how people feel and what makes them tick, you know. But I got into this game when I was a new father, and I decided to give up the music industry as far as touring, you know, 365 days a year and traveling and really putting in the hours and the time away from my family when I became a father. My daughter Siriana was definitely a pivotal point in my life, and that was huge. So I had a friend of mine that said, "Hey, you know, would you ever be interested in getting into timeshare?" And this was when I was in the music business, and his name was Lee Filto. I don't know if you guys know who Lee Filto was, but Lee Filto started, you know, Westgate over the villas over there in off of 192, and he was a dinosaur, man. That guy used to smoke cigarettes in his office, overlooking the floor, you know. And I was really great friends. One of my best friends is a guy by the name of Chris Sewell. And
I know Chris.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. Now he's bald. He wasn't bald when I met him. You know what I mean? And Chris was my neighbor, and Chris used to go with me everywhere, man. He used to come with me backstage and come to my shows, and you know, and just one of my closest friends of all time, you know. And so he introduced me to Lee Filto, and I would go and visit Chris when I came off the road and come, you know, show up at his work, and everybody would, you know, kind of freak out a little bit. And, you know, Lee would be like, "Hey, come into the office and come hang out with me," you know, and he'd be sitting there smoking, and he said, "Whenever you get off the road, you know, you should get into timeshare, you know, or if you wanted to, you know, maybe just come and sell timeshare a week out of the year, come and sell timeshare." And I was like, "Nah, man, you're never going to get me into this game, never." And then, so long story, you know, kind of bringing it in, I got out of the game, and Lee Filto had passed away. Unfortunately, he was out of the game, and he passed away from cancer. But I had got a phone call from one of my buddies, you know, in opening up a resale marketplace, right? And we did really well with that, and one of the first to do it. And then I went out to Branson, and I opened up a property called Branson's Nantucket out there, and did really well. Did about, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, I would say, maybe out there. Mm-hmm. And I was ready to come home. I was there for 2 weeks, coming back for a week, there for 2 weeks, coming back for a week,
back and forth.
And because I was a dad, and then I got into Orange Lake, and I built my career at Orange Lake, Holiday Inn Club Vacations, and really set the tone and worked with some of the best in the business. I still think to this day probably the best in this business. The only one that I feel has ever beat me is fair and square. Rosanna Montero. I love you, Rosanna.
Shout out to Rosanna.
Rosanna Montero. If you're that, she is the quintessential queen of timeshare.
She's still in the game, or she retired?
No, she's still in the game. She is a Westgate legend. She's married to Steve Burbo, who is also another Westgate legend.
Rosanna.
So, yeah.
I haven't met her yet.
Yeah, Ryan Kamel. He's over there at Westgate, right? Yeah, he's slaying it. I mean, when I tell you this woman was just unreal, unreal on every. The only woman.
There's always a unicorn.
She is the unicorn, man. There's only one unicorn, and in this game, she's the unicorn, and she's a very dear friend of mine, and I'll tell you, man, I wanted to beat her every year, and every year it wasn't the tour. It wasn't the tour, I'll tell you that much. It wasn't the tour. It was her tenacious vibe, man. She is just a legend. But other than that, I studied in the game and just kind of got to it, man. I was really blessed, man, to really kind of get into this industry at a really pivotal time, and it kind of was in, it was in fruition, I guess you guys, from my existence.
Did you have anybody pull you to the side and show you the game and kind of give you an advantage over other people that probably came out of your training class, or did you have to learn it on your own and just try to figure it out?
That's funny you say that. I think a lot of people would sit here and say that someone taught them. I come from a dog-eat-dog world, man. When I got into this game, it wasn't mentorship. It wasn't. I had expectations just stepping into the game, right? Everybody knew me from the music business or getting in from the entertainment side, and and I had an advantage, or they thought I had an advantage because I was famous or I had done this and done that. So no, did I watch people? Sure. Did I have people directly pull me aside and hustle me and teach me the game? There might have been a couple over the years, but it was I've always been one of those guys that thought that I could, whatever I was doing, put a better spin to it.
Yeah.
And I say that in a humble way.
Yeah.
I always felt like I could learn quick and adapt, and then put my spin on it.
Yeah. Enhance
it, because I wanted to always. I was in the business of selling myself. When you're on stage in front of 100,000 people and you're doing shows and you're doing this and they don't speak a lick of English, the whole concept is
energy.
Sell yourself. You got to sell yourself. When you're sitting in front of a Japanese label that is wanting to put $25-30 million behind you, you've got to sell yourself. Right. So this was on a smaller scale, bigger scale in the sense that I'm doing it for me and nobody else is involved. This is my livelihood based on my production, but that essence kind of relayed through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I noticed, like a lot of people that come on the show, one thing that I noticed is that you have this jewelry on this finger right here.
Oh yeah.
To show the audience, this is a thing that people work hard to try to achieve.
That's the $1 million ring that everybody talks about.
That is $1 million ring. Yeah.
Okay.
One of many that he has achieved.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He just chose the way that was.
Got you. Okay, that's what's up.
That's humble. Thank you. No, actually, this is my ring, and I'll give kudos in flowers to Orange Lake. Orange Lake put this ring. This is the first one. I actually lost one that I had that had the full diamond in it, but this is the first one that I had gotten. That meant something, you know. It meant that my hard work and my ability to adapt and create came to fruition, and that was huge for me, man. I remember Jojo Tadek, probably one of the best vice presidents to ever set foot in this industry at Orange Lake, the best. I mean. To be a woman in a man's world of sales, right? We all think, right, it's a man's world, but you know, in my mindset, I think to me, and I don't know how you guys feel, but the woman is definitely the superior sex on the planet.
Absolutely,
100%,
sure.
right? When they can give life and bring life, superior.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean?
And they can say things on the table we can't say, and you know, get away with things.
But this woman was the fiercest of the fierce. She stepped up to the plate against the best of the best in the business, and people just gave privy. I mean, it was just whatever you say, ma'am, I'm in. And she gave me this ring, and we can go as we talk, you know, throughout the show. You know, she opened up a lot of doors for me.
Did you start in-house or did you start in front line?
I'm a frontline guy, man.
Really?
I've spent my whole career. I've you know, as I've grown in the business, I have taken leadership roles that oversee in-house, and I've, you know, understand the game. But I just find so much joy in creativity, on the bringing people into the
getting their foot in the door.
industry, than trying to figure out so many angles.
Now, some would say obviously in-house is where the money's at if you want to make majority of the money. But then some would say it's in-house is an easier sell because they already have the skin in the game. We're just fixing the problem. And on you with the front line, you got to sell the dream. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, why wouldn't you think, hey man, let me take the easier route and just go in-house, and you know, instead of trying to fight these people of getting their foot in the door. You know what I'm saying?
That's a Kike question. That's a Kike question, man. I'll tell you what. You know, it's funny you asked me that, because I could tell you yes. You know, years ago, when I first got into the industry, almost 20 years ago, frontline was where the money was at, because the in-house basis wasn't really relevant.
Right.
It wasn't, you know, there wasn't enough skin in the game for the in-house department to try to recoup, you know, and regenerate money from people that are already doing business, right?
Gotcha.
And over the years, the in-house department grows, and it evolves, and so that market has become a lot bigger in today's market. But I've always found joy in the creative side. So once I achieved the goals that I wanted to, in the frontline sales aspect, improving points and putting up the big number and doing those things, I found joy outside of just the cash flow. You know, for me, the joy is watching guys like my dude over here, Kike, and these guys evolve, and spending countless hours in moments with them that matter, you know, and putting those things in there, watching them. That's the true value to me, because I feel like when you evolve into a leadership role, or you evolve into not just being a rep anymore, and you start putting other people's lives in your hands. It's like being a parent,
right?
You know, and seeing your kids get a full scholarship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like watching them, achieve going to the NFL for the first time, or like, or they get a softball scholarship, or they go and play, whatever the case may be, or they become a lawyer, and you'd say, man, it was all those hours I put in that made you do that. So that is what has kept me in the front line so much. But also the challenge in today's industry is the front line. Is bringing new people because of the content that's out there, the negative side of things. And so if you can be on the forefront of that in mastering how to keep it relevant and keep it in the game, you're really winning the battle. Like you're that dude that they need. Right? Now, most initiatives are like that right now.
I want to bring that back to the audience, because what many may not, we didn't open up this door yet, but we talked about how he began in the industry, but we didn't talk about where he is currently and the journey. The journey was started as a representative referred by someone else, but then the success led to becoming a manager, a TO, a director, running sites across seas, different continents. This is a journey of helping people.
Sure.
And now you've brought people in that didn't know the industry, and you built them up to become so successful that they are. But the passion is, not only am I helping families, but I'm helping others help their families. Right?
Yeah.
So when you speak from that level, like, what is that like? Like, your success has opened doors for others because you've been in position to help other people get on.
Sure.
Right? How does that feel?
I mean, it's again, could I go and slang some tours and in-house and
of course,
and do whatever I want and not have to be responsible for anybody? No. That's great. But
I got you.
Clock in and clock out, right? But generally I'm the first one in, the last one out.
Get out of here.
I come from a Marine family. My father was a high-ranking Marine officer. So I grew up in that mentality. It's like, you're only as good as the weakest link. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And so, that for me has been monumental, man. It's great. I've had the opportunity to focus and develop some of the best in the game right now, that are current, that I've I have guys that are higher ranking than me that I hired, that I mentored, that I have spent countless hours developing, and they have grown to be higher ranking than me, as ambition grows. I go with where God takes me.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And so I don't force title. I force impact. And so when that's what I chase. I chase uninterrupted impact, right? So the higher I get in the years that I put into this, I start to eliminate interrupted impact, right? And so the more uninterrupted impact that I have, where I don't have to get permission to do something or permission to ask, and more interdependency from my leadership team or whatnot, the better we evolve as a unit. The better we evolve as a site or as a company, because I do believe in how I present this product and how I deliver it to the new or the old. Right. So that's been really impactful for me.
So there's a lot of we have a lot of sales reps that come on here. We had a few OPC, a few Deeters, but I think this is the first time we had a director of sales on the show. So this is big. So one of the things is we have a lot of sales reps that come up here and say, they give us their morning routine. Hey, I wake up, get myself ready, get fresh, put on my, my nice clothes, get my mindset right. I'm in peak state.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious to see, what's the morning routine of a director of sales? Because you're not taking any tours that day. You know, you're not getting any objections that day. So what's a mindset of a director of sales heading to work?
Well, yeah, that's a great question.
Like, what are you thinking about? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's an interesting question. That's a great question.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, down payment over here, hit it with a double P. I don't think that there is a morning that is the same when you're in that position. There is no morning that's the same. My job is to find out who's my weakest link for the day. My job is to find out who's not in the right peak state. My job is to assess the current flow, make sure that all are checked in. And, at some point in your career, you go from rep to 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 manager to senior to director of sales to et cetera, right? My job as either a director or senior product director or whatever, senior manager or whatnot, right? My job is to make sure that I put the company first. There's a unique switch in the individual as you take on title, right?
Yes.
As a rep, you clock in and clock out.
Correct.
As a TO, you still clock in and clock out, but you still got to kind of put the company in perspective.
Correct.
As a manager, now you're putting more company before yourself. As a senior, you're becoming even more company than you are becoming yourself. And as a director, you're a company guy, right? What's the best for the company for the day?
Correct.
So it's real hard to be unified or uniquely defined as what's my day going to look like, because my day looks like what is in front of me.
Gotcha.
And how am I going to what's my forecast going to be? So my job is to be head coach for the day, right? The team switched up. They told me what their starting five was, but 5 minutes before the game, Curry's not playing.
Right.
And now I've got Peyton playing today, right? I've got Gary Payton Jr. playing today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So wait, he likes to drive to the basket a little bit more. He doesn't, but he gets a lot more foul shots, right? So you have to be able to distinguish that like quick, because if not, you're gonna have a bad day. If one of your reps shows up and their mom is sick and they're your top rep, or their grandmother got a flat tire and they're their only source of the craziest things. Dude, I can only tell you some of the craziest things that you've ever anticipated coming from somebody.
You gotta accept it.
You guys have said it. You guys have come to me and told me some of the most crazy things I've ever heard in my entire life. So yes, that's my morning. My morning is make sure I have my I wake up, I look fresh, I approach my day with a good prayer in the morning, and make sure that I know that I'm right, because if I'm not right, everybody's not right.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure that my mind is right. I'm positioned right with my father and my family, my kids and stuff. And then I show up to work.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've had, obviously holding that title. I'm pretty sure you've seen a rep that maybe you said in your mind, you didn't express it to anybody, and you said, man, that rep's not gonna last. They probably got a week or two left. And then maybe that rep turned into a superstar or something like that. Like a rep that surprised you. I'm pretty sure you've had that in your career.
Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a lot of reps right now that spring break is spring break's going on right now, if I'm not mistaken. Resorts should be busy. There's a lot of reps right now that are transitioning through different all stages of their sales. They're transitioning from one resort to another resort because maybe they're not doing too well. Maybe they've seen a bunch of reps leave from one resort, go over to another resort, so they're going to follow them. What's your take on the grass being greener on the other side? It's never greener on the other side. That's your take on it.
Because in this industry, as I've seen it, and I was a product of that, right? I thought the grass was greener. Now, and again, I made a very quick switch into a leadership position. I didn't spend a huge amount of time as a rep because it was I accomplished that, right? The industry is unique in its own way, right? You've heard this, and I'll say it. A tour is a tour.
Is a tour.
A tour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. A body in front of you can be sold. You just didn't sell it.
Yeah.
Right. So in our industry, there are some things that come into to play, right? Mm-hmm. And we can get down to that rabbit hole in a little bit. But I think when you really focus on a person in front of you, what are you doing to make that person feel special? And what are you doing to capitalize as an opportunity that you didn't pay for, that you didn't have to go out and market,
Correct.
that you didn't have to go and get, that you didn't have to go. What are you doing, right? It's so the lay down world isn't any longer. This is 2026, right? Let's say that again. This is 2026, 6, right? This is timeshare 2026. You can put that in there. But I can tell you, man, I look for that, man. Anybody who's in a leadership role, and you guys have probably had your own rights and your own businesses, as we've talked earlier and stuff like that, right? The smaller their resume, the better.
Got you.
The smaller their resume, the better. If they've got a 3-page resume, they have no stick-to-itiveness. They have no abilities to try to capitalize on what's the opportunity in front of them. Yeah. If they have a short 1-page resume, I'm going to talk to them. If it's a 1-page resume and it's 12 years on one page, that means they have stick-to-itiveness. That means they have hard work. That means their company saw value in them. That means their company saw growth potential in them. They either grew with them, they stuck with it, they were doing well, and they weren't just a fly-by-night kind of employee.
Well, let's get a little deep for a second, because there's some reps that they want to complain, this tour, was working at Dunkin' Donuts and this is not a qualified tour and I'm going to go over here to another resort because they have qualified tours and blah, blah, blah. What's your definition of a qualified tour?
Do they have a heartbeat?
A pulse and a heartbeat. Can they fog a mirror? Yes.
There you go.
If they're in front of you, they have enough money to buy.
Yeah.
There you
in
go.
most cases.
Yeah.
There's a very few senses. There's very few. Listen, yes, there are certain companies that will call it a qualified tour, but when it comes down to the money, they don't have it.
Yeah.
But the vast percentage of people sitting in front of you that are on vacation at Disney World, spending the money, you've got to find the money. I've told Kike, and I've told a bunch of people, there's been many a times I've sat across from somebody and I've said to them many a times, if you really want this for you and your family, you are wearing a 14-karat gold diamond necklace. I have a buddy right now that owns a pawn shop. I'll call him and you can sell that necklace and you can afford this deposit and have a few $1,000s in cash on you for the rest of your trip. And they've done it.
Nice. Yeah.
So how good are you?
Right.
How savage are you?
Right. Let's talk about that. Because you have shown, I remember understanding that you actually stepped down one time from leadership and came back to the sales floor. And in that time, it was motivation for other people around you because they saw what you've done, writing big deals by just being yourself. Some people are afraid to ask for the money or to say certain things and be direct.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that you said to those families that were in front of you?
I don't think it was necessarily saying certain things. I think it was what I showed. I think it was there's a vast mix of what we do in this business. You know, a lot of people say that trust is the most important thing in this business, but I think trust is just the acronym to what really is the most important thing, and I think transparency is the most important thing.
I agree.
Right. So when you use the acronym trust as a professional, as someone who is OG, or even just a new person in this game, and you start putting transparency first, in all aspects, whether it's humble, whether it's direct, however you want, be transparent, man. I think when you start putting those things into perspective, you got trust, you got reliable. How reliable is this? How this is a human nature, man. This is a human sale. This is I don't know what I could say on this.
Whatever you want.
You sure? No filter, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take the blinders off, right? So I'm gonna give you a good analogy that I was taught years ago by somebody. Why does a racehorse wear things here? Why does a racehorse wear blinders?
Yeah.
You don't get distracted. All he sees is wherever the finish line is. No, wherever his jockey is pulling his head.
Gotcha.
Right? He's got somebody that's pulling his head, and his job is to either go whatever that angle at it, however fast.
Yeah.
His jockey is throwing him, right? That's the same thing in this business, right? You got to have your blinders on, and how fast you want to go is whoever the competition is that's pushing you, which should ultimately be yourself. Right? You have a goal, and you have a month to do that goal, right? We all know, right? Whether it's 1 to 31 or it's 15 to 14, right? 15th of the month to the 14th of the following month, right? So whatever it may be, but transparency is key, right? I had to step into those roles to prove a point, because when I stepped into the site that I was at the time, I was already a senior, and they asked me to come in and say, hey, listen, we need you to come in here and show our staff of 100 plus, was it 100 plus? 100 plus. Yeah. 100 plus reps that had an average sales price of $13,500, right? That I came from a place that $42,000 was the average.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
On the front line.
Woo. Right.
Damn.
Or your average sales price probably. I mean, 42,000 was what was our asking
for sure
first thing. But I think our average sales price at the lake was probably $29,000, $30,000, which is unheard of.
Gotcha.
Right. And so they said, "Would you come in here?" So I did, and I told them, I said, are you sure you're going to want me in that position? Because I'm going to break the comp plan.
Right.
You're going to have to pay. I'm going to break the comp plan for these guys. And then I'm going to have 100 plus guys that are going to look at me like, what the hell did you just do to me, dog? You just screwed up my whole stuff, man. I was making $20,000 a month. Now I'm making $5,000. Like, what are you doing, right? And so... But yeah, I did. It's funny you asked that. But what led me to the conversation to revert back was I wanted to kind of share this with you guys, was that a lot of I've heard because I have kind of gone back and reverted to some of your other podcasts that you've done with people.
Nice.
And kind of learned a little bit about you guys, right?
We appreciate that.
Well, I can tell you one thing, right?
Yeah.
Timeshare is about an unorganized defense against an organized offense. Right?
Nice.
That's a bar.
Right?
Nice.
Right?
I like that.
So when I came in here today, I wanted to make sure that I brought you guys fucking sorry my language. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Fuck
All right, fuck it.
We're good.
But I wanted to bring you guys gas, right? And so what's made me the thing was understanding when I hear people say trust. Yes, trust. but trust is just the acronym. There's so much more gas to that, right? Trust is transparency, reliable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing service, right? You got to be the two most valuable words that you can say in sales, not just timeshare. Because this could go beyond this podcast for you guys can go way beyond, because the best salesman in the world is a timeshare salesman.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody's messing with timeshare guys.
For sure. Facts.
Right? Facts. Right? Maybe a rainbow vacuum cleaner. Right? They used to go, okay, those boys for gas. Where they would knock on somebody's door and be like, let me sell you a $600 vacuum cleaner. And you're wearing a wife beater. Right? But, you got transparency, you got reliability. The most important thing on there is understanding. Right?
Facts. Especially on the front line.
Listen, in anything you say, the two most powerful words you could say in sales is "I understand."
How do you bring a brand?
What?
How do you bring up a brand?
And we'll get into that. But like when you start building transparency, reliability, understanding, service into perspective, right? That right there, what does my transparency bring into reliability for the customer and understanding the customer? And what service can I provide to the customer, right? And what kind of track record do I have?
Right. Credibility.
So you got transparency, right? You got reliability, you got understanding, you got service, and you got track record. Those are the most important things that you can be. Track record is your brand. Track record is your brand statement. But when you can look at a customer, as I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier today, right? Yeah. When you can look at a customer and say to a customer, listen, this isn't about what are you going to have to go home and look about. Because everything you're going to want to look at later, I'm going to put in front of you right now. Right now. So that when the end of this is where salesmen come in. Timeshare guys, whether it's called pitching heat or you're gassing it up. The heat is because they had no transparency. The heat is because they didn't. They thought they had a sale, and now at the end of it, the person says, "Well, I need to think about it." Well, think about it means you didn't give them enough information.
When you say transparency, are you saying instead of me telling them about the getaways, I should show them the getaways? What
Correct.
do you mean by that?
No, when I say transparency, I mean like, listen, transparency is in our world is fees. Is cost.
Got you.
What's it going to cost me to do this? What's it going to cost me? How do I do this? How do I do that?
Got you.
Right? So when you're and you know what? And let's take a step back for a second. It's not just fees. Transparency is, what is your intent? What do you intend to do with me today?
Correct.
Right? A customer needs an intent. First and foremost, the most important thing that we are brought here today is that you called us to stay at one of my properties. I didn't bring you to ruin a relationship. I brought you here to strengthen one that I already have.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you can say that to a customer, and you can feel good about yourself, like, listen, my father always taught me to tell my daughter, never sleep in the bed of someone you don't trust. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where are you sleeping tonight? In your bed.
Nice.
So I think it's important to kind of like understand the dynamics of the human side of it. It's not so superficial. When you can look at someone and say, listen, I'm gonna sell you something here today.
Yeah.
My job is not to talk to you, is not just to become your friend and make a friend. No, I'm here to sell you something.
Yeah.
Own up to that.
Be strong. There's a lot of reps that's scared to say that. What would you say? And every resort has different, some resorts have 10 steps, 15 steps, 20 steps, whatever. What would you say is the most important step of the sale?
Man, is the first 5 minutes, man. All the other shit is nonsense.
Yeah.
Listen, I could tell you, and he knows, and you'll learn, and one day you know, as we be, this is just the start of a great friendship. But I can tell you one thing for sure is that the first 5 minutes of meeting somebody are the most important. Right? If you approach me and I just met you and I'm on vacation and I'm in my flip-flops, I'm in my hat that says,
St. John's.
St. John's, or I got a Margaritaville shirt on, or whatever the case may be, right? And you step up to me on vacation and want to hit me with a handshake, you lost me. What's my thing? Please tell them. We don't handshake, we high five, man. Every aspect of it. We don't handshake, man. We high five around this, man. I'll tell you one thing is for sure, man, is that every minute you have with that customer needs to be a winning mentality. Needs to be a winning mentality. And when you think of winning, you think of high five. You think of chest bump. You think of let's scream at the top of our lungs, right? And so every time I've ever approached anybody, I've set CEOs, I've set senators, I've set, mechanical engineers, astro engineers, rocket engineers. I mean, you name it. The best of the best, the most wealthy people in the world that I've seen, sat with. I've never handshaked them. I've high fived them, make them feel like they're winning from the moment they met me.
I like that. I
like that too.
We don't handshake around here. This is not a so serious business transaction.
Yeah.
I need you to walk out of here today knowing I just won. I met Scully. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
It sounds like too, but just listening to you, it sounds like sales reps are forgetting just the fun aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this should be fun.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever watched Patch Adams? The movie Patch Adams? I want you to go and watch Patch Adams. Patch Adams with Robin Williams.
Okay.
He was a guy, it was a movie about a gentleman that worked in the hospital with kids that were dying. And and his whole thing was about making people laugh. And laughter brought life to these kids that they didn't experience, right? And so in my bag to this day, in my top drawer of my desk when I get there, I will always have a red nose.
Oh, I remember the red nose he used to put on. Yeah, Robin Williams. You're right. Okay, I remember what you're talking about. I know
There's nothing more joyous.
You pull out a red nose on your table?
Absolutely.
Get the hell out of here.
Patch
Adams, bro. Patch Adams.
Yeah.
I don't wear it.
Okay.
I don't wear it all the time.
It's a reminder, though.
Yeah.
But it's a reminder to me, in this world that we live in, everything is so serious.
Yeah, that's true.
When you take the seriousness out of it, the serious results show.
Happy birthday to your son.
Wow.
Happy birthday to my son. Yes, my son's birthday is today.
Word, okay.
Oh, happy birthday. What's up?
And my youngest is autistic, and he turns 10 today. So a beautiful
What's
thing.
up? What's up?
So, but I can tell you, I take seriousness out of it when I was a rep. I would focus on making these people laugh. So many people try to look at this as if this is a business transaction. Yes, it is, but half of these people were selling shoes or they have no clue what they're doing. You know what I mean? And they should they be selling timeshare?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they hear the stories. Oh, I made $100,000. I made $200,000. I mean, let's talk realistic here, homie. Yeah.
So
When did you finally get?
So I want to repeat the question for the audience. Can't hear
When did
you.
you finally feel like this was your niche?
So the question is, when did you finally feel like this was your niche?
Man, right away. No, I think I really grasped the thought that this could be a life career for me. Probably the second year in, when I sold a guy in the Midwest in Branson, Missouri. I sold this guy, walked in, and everybody said, "Man, you got the worst tour in the game." In here, the guy, I'm not even joking with you guys when I tell you this. This is the craziest story.
I heard about Branson tours. So.
Boy, I tell you, the boy walked in with some overalls, cut off overalls, with a wife beater underneath it, overalls, and some like not even like Jordan slides, like some like old school like
Thong slides.
Put your big toe and your middle toe in between them things, like those like regular flip flops, right? And in a trucker hat on. I don't even know what he was wearing. Dirty as hell, man. Dirty as hell. And I sold him $275,000 in like less than an hour and 20 minutes. The guy, when I told him the price, he said, "That's it?" And I went, my mouth just like dropped. I was like, whoa, what do you mean that's it? Oh, I thought we were talking a lot more. Well, yeah, I just put it on my card. Boy pulled out a black card, just slapped it on the table like it was nothing. And I said, "God damn." In my head, man, I was like, "Holy crap, did I just do this? Holy moly." And that night I was meeting with one of the Brady guys from the Brady Bunch. You guys remember the Brady Bunch?
Yeah.
They were he had a show there. I forget what his name was at the time. This was years ago. Golly. And we were going out to dinner. Our managers knew each other at the time. I remember I was just out of the music business and stuff. And so I was like, "We got to hurry this up." And he was like, no, we don't have to do no finance. And I'm putting it all on the car. The guy owned like 37,000 acres of cattle.
Of course. He's a
cattle farmer that had like 37,000 acres, like stupid rich. You would have never known. Yeah. And so when that day right then and there, I think I made probably because of where I was at in bonus.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. Yeah. I think I made $100,000 that day.
Get out of here.
Because Branson was at the time was paying stupid money because tour flow was very small, in those regions.
I gotta go to a question from one of the guests from the audience. He said, "Hey guys, I've been in car sales for 30 years, worked on up to GCM, running my own store, strong closer. I'm 51, recently divorced with a 7-year-old, looking for a transition of a long dealership hours, still making $200,000 plus. Been researching this timeshare, found your podcast really resonates. We got friends in Destin doing $300K in-house. I'm looking at Wyndham, Clearwater, but I understand I need to start at Frontline. My question is, am I at any disadvantage at my age?" He said he's 51. "And how tough is the transition from automotive to timeshare?"
Good question.
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I tell you what.
I wouldn't put an age limitation on it. I mean, there's all ages for sure.
You want my honest opinion? Forget car sales.
For sure.
I think the tactical side of things for car sales has not been paid attention to over the years. I think they've missed the boat on a lot of things. I mean, so if any car dealerships want me to come in and fucking help them get better, I will definitely help you. But I tell you, and I'll tell you why I said this, because I went to go look at a car not even 9 months ago. I went to go look, and they said, "Well, what brings you in here today?" Well, what the hell you think brings me in here?
That's a buyer initiated sale.
I'm here to buy a car. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no. The question was what? What's different? What was the derivative of that?
Does he have a disadvantage of coming in at 51 years old, and how hard is the transition?
The transition's hard. It is because it's a very personal level So a car, there's a tangible side of things, right? When you walk into a car dealership, that car is there. You could smell it, you could drink it, you can look at it, you can touch it, you can sit inside of it, you could take it for a test drive. I can't test drive Aruba. I can't test drive, a 3-3 in Destin, Florida. I can't test drive a 2-bedroom, 2-bath ski in a ski out property in Breckenridge, Colorado with all of my kids, and I haven't been able to do that in 27 years and get everybody together. And, coincidentally, I was able to do it because I had this in that region, right? So you can't test drive that.
Right.
So you can't touch it.
Yeah, it's not tangible.
There's nothing tangible inside of it. So they have to believe in you and and the individual in you, systemically for the time period to buy the product that would actually get them to them. A lot of times when you aren't transparent, when you aren't showing reliability, when you aren't showing understanding, when you aren't showing service, when you aren't showing track record, you're not able to sell that person the right product that gets them to where they want to go when they want to go. Because you're underselling them for your own pocket.
Selling from your own pockets is a topic that comes up a lot, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a sucker for it sometimes too. I listen to their sob story and I'm like, oh man, they don't got it like that because I don't got it like that, so I understand.
Then you have a high cancellation rate.
Okay.
Do you have a high cancellation rate?
Well, I'm not currently in the industry now, but what I'm saying,
did you have a high cancellation rate?
No, not necessarily.
What is your average?
I mean, I wouldn't say.
I'm just being real with you.
Yeah. No, my cancellation. I honestly wasn't a rep that had a lot of cancellations, believe it or not.
Okay, then you undersold.
Right. Undersold, yeah. It would be more of underselling. Yeah, it'd be more of underselling.
So this I always say, if you're not running a 10 to 12% cancellation, you're not selling. You're not pushing hard enough.
We've heard that before too. You're not
pushing hard enough.
That's what they say.
If you're not, if your average sales price isn't over 25,000, you're not selling to the best of the customer.
Yeah,
because it's like anything, right? I can go buy a Camry right now, a Toyota Camry, and walk out of there with cloth seats and everything, and drive a brand new Camry for $27,000. And then I get halfway down the road and I want to go type in Navi in it, and I can't. I still got to hook up my phone to it, right, to get Navi, right?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just sell the person Navi? Why didn't you just sell the person a touchscreen operated, thing that can do what they want to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why?
Right.
And so what I always tell people is like, why are we not getting to the point where we're selling these bigger deals that actually get and streamline
where they want to go? Yeah.
Why do you think in-house is doing so good?
Yeah, because they're gonna definitely selling what they need to get to where they need to go for sure.
In-house is doing so well right now because Frontline is
underselling.
Oh,
them. For sure.
Without no in-house, without no Frontline, there's no in-house.
We have a lot of
without no Frontline, there's no in-house.
Yeah. But if Frontline was selling $160,000 deals to these people,
there'll be no room.
But
there'll be no room.
In Frontline's mind, hey, let's just get their foot in the door. Let's get them a little $10,000-$15,000 package. Get their foot in the door, and then let in-house worry about.
And that's a minute. That's a lot of TOs say that. Not the rep, but I've heard a lot of TOs say, let's just get them in the door and let in-house deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to spit some truth for you guys, right? The industry is coming to a point where reps are going to be irrelevant.
Tell us more.
Irrelevant by who? By what? AI?
By no need. So the truth of the matter is that reps cause more cost than they do sale. They cost the company more than what they actually bring to the table. So because of greed, because of not being transparent, because of not providing the proper steps of understanding, showing reliability, showing the service side of what we do, and also showing the track record. The trust acronym that I gave you is because, and it's going to happen. It's going to get to a point where we're going to have presenters and we're going to have managers. And that's it. That's all you're going to need. A presenter's going to show the product. They're going to walk out and say, which package do you need? Which package do you want? Very much like Disney. Disney can't even, I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You're good.
But I mean, even they don't need very many people, right?
Yeah.
Disney says, which package do you want?
Right.
Yeah.
You want this, and this. This gets you this many days here, this many days here. So,
But Disney also says you don't have to purchase today. We'll follow up with you in 30 days, and you tell me how you feel.
think-
there's no high pressure at Disney whatsoever.
of course not.
Yeah.
Half your
They don't
100% of your tours are there because of
Right.
Disney.
They don't need to. The dream
Nobody's
is built on
coming to
Disney.
Orlando because of the wide world of sports. Nobody's coming to Orlando because of the convention center.
Right.
I mean, they are, but
They are, but
let's
that's
be
their own.
realistic here, guys. Right? I mean, the truth of the matter is that it costs the company. I mean, you can only think how much money. The company, and I'm giving you guys gas right now.
Yeah.
How much money it costs the company to fight the nonsense of reps,
Saving deals.
saving deals, saving lawsuits. Having to buy back stuff from people because they pitched heat, having to do this, having to do that, and on top of that, you're ruining the major brand.
You hit it. You hit it right there.
Right, you're taking. Remember, when you look at any of these brands, whether it's Marriott, whether it's Hilton, whether it's IHG, whether it's Vacatia or whatever whatever the brand may be, Disney. There's a major brand, and then you're just the little baby brand underneath them, and so they gave you permission to be ethically proper. And sell with integrity, sell with class, sell with character, and sell with truth.
Yeah, have ethics.
The acronym that I provided to you: transparency and reliable and service and understanding.
Does it matter if you're at we had this on a couple podcasts ago. You got your big brands, your Hilton, your Wyndham, Marriott, whatever, and then you got your smaller companies that some people probably have never even heard of before. For those people that's with the smaller companies, how are they supposed to pitch brand recognition and things like that when, they're not a Hilton, they're not a Marriott, they're not a big name like that? Could they still follow, the acronym or the steps that you're saying for their little companies?
Sure. And absolutely. I think it's important to remember that, let's just say the individual's name is Javi Lopez. I'm just going to throw that name out there, right? I don't know who it is, but that's just the name that came to my head real quick. Javi Lopez didn't go out there and ask the person to come and do a tour.
True.
Right. It's whatever company that you're working for said, hey, we would give you this if you were inclined to do this. So that is your brand statement. So you hold yourself accountable to the company that says, hey, I will take a risk on you. Right. There's not very many people that can walk out there. I mean, we're all business owners outside of this industry, right? And when you look at our business platforms and what we do, right? We are the brand. We are the sale. We are everything. We don't have the luxury of having 27 people working underneath us, right? That do all the individual departments that they're doing for you when you're in this industry. So when you could take that leap of faith and understand that, the brand may not be a major brand, but it's still a brand statement of class.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I think how to differentiate that is really just how you present it. I think when you understand the facts of your company, one, how many clients do you have? How big are you? How large do you span? Where
product
do you
knowledge,
span? Product knowledge
yeah.
and company knowledge. There's a difference between product knowledge and company knowledge. How did the company evolve? Where did the company come from? How did it get to where it is? And why are they in the position that they're in? And why are you sitting in front of us right now? Because clearly you're sitting in front of us right now
for a reason,
because you have a need, not a want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A need. See, people forget Timeshare is not a need; it's a want. Vacation is not a need. It is a want. I have created way more memories with my kids in my backyard with a glove and a baseball than I have on vacation. I have created way more memories with my kids by a bonfire and my parents by a bonfire or in the middle of a field or my father teaching me how to draw or my uncle teaching me how to fix a mower or my mother teaching me how to make a brownie, right? Than I have selling or being on vacation. So is it really a need? No. It's a want. Just like your car or just like your car, right? You can only go so fast on the highway.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But what makes you feel good when you're driving? Just like your watch. You got a nice rollie on. You got a nice little thing on.
Gucci.
He's like Gucci. Yeah. All right, I got a digital, Apple Watch on, right?
Check
all
your heart
different
rate.
prices, right?
For sure.
But they all tell the same damn time.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I seen a Maybach truck earlier today, and he cut me off and he sped off or whatever, and I'm just looking. I'm like, first of all, I know that car is probably 200, 300, 400,000, but it's kind of ugly, and it's like, why spend all that money? We're going to the same place.
He just got his get back. He just got his get back, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really worth
kinda
it?
whack.
Just because it says Maybach on the back of it? Like, well, come on, whatever.
No, but here's the thing. The funny thing is he probably cut you off, and then you guys ended up at the same light
same
together.
place.
You looked at him and said, really? Was that necessary? Right? So, I mean, I think that's the unique thing about what we do is when you start putting in perspective the humility and the humble side of what we do, right? Everybody talks about this ego and this in sale, like what the company is, sold in 60 seconds. 60 minutes, 60 minutes, right? It's not sold in 60 minutes. It's sold in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you as a grown man, me as a grown man, Kike, everybody in this room, when you meet somebody for the first time, in the first 5 minutes if you're gonna like the person, or you're not.
I told Rich, Rich, when I shake someone's hand, I can tell if I'm gonna get a deal or not. When they shake my hand and it's just light, it's like a feather. They don't even really. It's bullshit. Some shit's about to happen.
It's apprehensive. They gotta think about it. Like they might wear a mask and COVID's already over. You know what I'm saying?
When I get a firm handshake in the lobby and they squeezing my hand, that's a deal, bro.
Oh yeah,
that's a deal. You know what I'm saying? That's a deal. We have a lot of reps that chime in and they ask us, how do you build value? And especially I've heard, you're writing $100,000 deals and things like that. So there's a lot of reps out there that want to know, how are you able to build value till you're able to pitch $100,000 deal? Like, how do you build value to pitch something like that? Are you talking about the new theme parks that's coming to the area, or how do you build value?
So it's unique. Well, yes, a good discovery will definitely help you with that. But when you start understanding, instead of asking, so many reps spend so much time asking, how many nights are you traveling? What are you spending per night? What is your typical nightly rate? What brand hotel do you like to stay in? I can give a rat's ass about that shit, actually. What I ask him is, when you look at your taxes at the end of the year, what do you put on there for vacations and in unexplained expenses? Like, what are you okay with losing every year? What's not going to take away from feeding your kids, putting a roof over their head? If I could offer you the opportunity right now to be able to change what you've consistently known and what you're doing, what could I share with you right now that would change your life, and what money are you putting aside for that? And then I just customize from there. I look at a 5-year plan. I don't look at a 30-year plan. I look at a 5-year plan. I think a lot of people try to spend too much time going 30 years down the road, and it's not relevant.
Got you.
Customers don't want that. They want to know what's in the now. What's in the now?
Short term.
5 years. If someone says they spend $10,000 a year over 5 years, I know I got a $50,000 deal. They're spending $10,000 a year. If they're spending $20,000 a year over 5 years, I know I got $100,000. They're spending $30,000 a year, I know I got $150,000 because I want to be able to show them return right away.
Nice.
How can you get the money and not have to spend the money and get the same thing? And with $150,000, $160,000 years, I can make those things what I want because I have enough product to back it.
You've worked in many positions in the timeshare sales industry. So my question to you is this: does the sales rep work for the TO, or does the TO work for the sales rep?
Neither. When the rep turns it over to the TO, the rep couldn't sell it. It's the TO's job from here on out.
Okay.
They don't work for nobody. They work for each other. They work independently for the company at that point.
When the rep turns it over to the TO, so you're saying you prefer for the TO to try to close it out themselves?
If the rep had the deal, he would have pulled the credit
he
card.
would have pulled,
ID.
of course. Yeah.
If the TO has to come in and close the deal for you, did you really sell it, or did you ask for, or did you just show it? Did you ask for the money, or did you just see what they're spending?
See what they're spending. See what they're spending. That's
so
cute.
I mean,
that's cute.
It's cute, right?
Yeah.
It's cute. I mean, that's the conversation that a lot of people don't have with their reps.
Yeah.
Like when I sat at a table and Kike has been at one of my reps, before and stuff. There's been times where he's sitting and I kick him.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I kick him. Shut the hell up. It's not your time anymore. It's my time. It's my stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that's important. I think we forget the fact that it's called a takeover. It's my time now. Let me do what I do. Because if you couldn't, with all of your 12, 15 steps of sale that you want to do.
That's true.
Right? And all these things that you want to do, you couldn't get the money. I'm going to show you how to do it in 5 minutes.
That's true.
But, and I think that's the biggest problem, too, that we face in today's industry is companies move people into those positions that should not be in those positions.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
It's not on skill set. It's on politics. It's who do you know? Which is life, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people suffering in this industry because of that, because they haven't had the opportunity to have that. Someone that could come in and just, and that's where you earn your money.
Right. Well, I can tell you one thing. We appreciate you definitely coming through and dropping jewels on us. You gave us that gas tonight, boy, and I know that.
Facts.
So if you're new to the channel, please share, like, subscribe, save, hit the bell so you can see every episode that drop. Today we were blessed with Scully to come through. If there's one thing that I know that you better do tomorrow is give that tour a high five.
That's it, baby.
Facts. Facts. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When did you feel that you could be the leader that you are?
What's that?
Repeat the question for him, Rich, too.
When did you feel that you could be the leader that you are to help other individuals grow, to help them maximize their growth?
When did I feel like I was the leader that I am? Or when do I feel?
When did you feel that you could be the leader to help another person grow and maximize? Because you wasn't always a TO.
I think it really came from just experience and trial and error. I think when I realized that I could duplicate what I was doing on a mass level, and I felt like I found the recipe to make the loaf of bread that rose the same way, had the same viscosity, had the same density, had the same texture and taste and everything continuously. For myself, that's when I was able to realize that I could share that recipe.
Yeah, when you have a formula that works and people want to say, well, how did you become successful? It's okay to share what worked for you.
Yeah.
And I can share the sauce. This is what I do. You may deliver it different, but this is the structure.
100%.
And you're willing to share and help other people say, do this.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
And I think that that's important, right? I mean, one thing I could tell you is over the years, I appreciate you guys allowing me to come in here, and hopefully we can get in here again sometime and do it again. But one thing is for certain, just keep this in mind. When you are able to look at a customer in a humble way and tell them with complete confidence what the meaning of them, why they're there today, with the right intent statement and the right confidence behind it, the trust acronym, right? Sales becomes a lot more efficient and it becomes easy because I tell you the think about it, which is the treacherous words that we all have heard over the years, right? I need to go home and think about it, or I need a few minutes. That just tells me that they haven't, that they don't trust you,
right?
That they need more information. And information is what you can give them.
Now do this. If you could think back to your day, as a rep. Step down for a second. Give us your intent statement. We'll close out on that.
Oh man, that's unique, man. First and foremost, I think the most important thing that in front of us, John and Mary here today, is the fact that you are here with a guy like me, right? I'm a bald-headed guy with a great smile. But the most important thing is that you chose a company like us, whatever brand that you're in, to service you guys, and we are happy for that. Our whole intent here today was to make sure that you understand that we brought you here to strengthen a relationship, not ruin one that we already have. Right? And at the end of this presentation and throughout the presentation, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to get to know you on a real surface level. And I'm going to share with you all the things that you're going to think that you need to go home and think about. I'm going to make sure that you understand right here and right now, so that when I make you an offer here today, it's for here today and today only. And I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to make you look at your wife and look at your husband, and I'm going to make you guys think multiple times, like, should we do this here today? And the answer is yes. Because I know that when I put something in front of you, it's the right package. At the end of the presentation, I don't want you to have to think about it. I want you to know that this is the right move for you and your family. And regardless of the fact, if you say no, it's okay. I didn't do anything other than strengthen a relationship that I have already. So when you make the next reservation, you look back and you think of me first. Is that something that you can do here today? Today, could you think of me first and your family first if it's the right choice for you guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I ask.
And that's how you get sold in 60.
Facts. Just like that.
Scully.
And we out just like that.
My boy.
For sure.